everybody.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
If you don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was alive. The president never gave me any deadline.
Good morning and welcome to another beautiful day. It is a Monday and of course an exciting day it is. This is the 3rd day of February, I beg your pardon, 2025, and we are excited to be here. This is Global Morning, the best way to get your day started, and of course seeing each day and getting your day started with Global Morning makes your day more beautiful because we do all we can to help you set a beautiful pace for the day. On Global Morning today, we have so much lined up for you, and I'm assuring you that you won't regret being part of the program this morning. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, I have my colleague join me on the program this morning. Jumai Manson is right here. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, Ramsey Enokagbo, and it's great to be on the program Global One. Of course, I'm not just joining, I'm your tag team on Monday.
Monday tag team.
Monday tag team on Monday. How did you forget that so easily?
Monday tag team. You know, the word tag team, you know, in this economy, when you talk about tag team, it means so much.
Yes, it does.
And the only thing that can help anyone, all right, move smoothly in this challenging economy is when you have a tact team.
Yeah.
The teamwork, you know, the power of teamwork.
Yeah, very important.
What two can do, one person will not be able to do it.
Definitely.
That's what makes Global Morning so special.
That's what makes Global Morning so special. You need a tag team, someone that can always be there to always support you when you have a view to put out there and all of that. Well, anyway, it's great to be here. An amazing weekend. Of course, some of us will work throughout the weekend, but it's fine. And I am Jumai Manson, and it's great to be here. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Hope we make the best out of it with so many issues popping up here and there. But with all of that, we'll be fine as Nigerians and as a country, basically.
Well, Nigerians are very resilient people.
Yes, we are.
Coming this far, it means, well, we've come this far. There's no going back.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. We're pushing forward.
I think it's a reality check that we always learn to fight through. It doesn't matter what the economy is saying. If there's high cost of tariff, or the telecom companies are doing theirs, and every other thing is just a jamboree so far. But with all of that, we should be thankful and know that everything is going to be fine. Let's be positive. And of course, we are very strong, resilient individuals. It doesn't matter what happens as an individual, as a country, but we'll definitely strive and pull through. Right, Ramsey?
Yeah, we'll strive and push through. That's how we got to this place. We're still expecting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think we've gone past the middle of the tunnel, based on my assessment anyway.
Yes.
We've gone past the middle of the tunnel. So at least we should be seeing a beam of the light, even though we can't see the light shining fully right now. But then that we've been told there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
We're keeping our fingers crossed to see when the light will come, because when light comes, darkness will disappear. The challenging economy will become a thing of the past. And Nigerians, this is one thing about Nigerians. Despite what Nigerians are going through right now, if the light shines at the end of the tunnel, like we've been told, a lot of things will be forgotten because Nigerians can adapt to situations easily. If the light shines and one can go to the market with 5,000 naira and come back with your cellophane filled up, I think Nigerians will forget the days when 5,000 naira will be getting you just a plate of food.
A plate of food, yeah.
But as it is right now, good news, should I say good news? Dangote is reducing the price of
Fuel, yes.
But then, I'm just waiting. I was thinking about it, and I was like,
I thought about it
when
too.
is it really going to translate across board? Because sometimes you hear these reductions and it doesn't go across board because the monitoring teams are not even going around to make sure the fuel price is what it is. It's the same everywhere.
Yes.
You see this filling station selling at this price, this one selling at this price. You hear things like this pump is being adjusted. You hear things like, well, these people's fuel is adulterated and all of that.
Exactly.
Until we can have the authorities do the needful. What's the needful? Make sure everyone sell at the same price. Secondly, make sure the pumps are not adjusted. And make sure the product is not adulterated, because this challenging economy, then you go knock someone's engine because you sold a fuel that is adulterated. That's not going to be fine. Let's be patriotic to an extent that we want to have each other's back.
Very important.
This reduction, what does it mean to you? I was excited.
Extremely.
I've not felt the impact this morning.
Exactly. Yeah, very true, very true. The impact is not there yet, but I was excited when I saw that news. I was very excited. I was happy, and at least there is there's a step. At least he has started something. The reduction in fuel. At least we're happy. But the most important thing is the impact. Just like you said, it's not just being there and saying it has been reduced to 800 and something naira, and then the next thing you know, other filling stations are still selling at the rate of 1,000 plus and all of that. So the impact is very important. And like you said, you know how it is, Ramsey. A lot of people are trying as much as possible to cut costs. So that's where you see the adulterated fuel coming in, which is wrong in all shades of wrong. I do not support that at all. Like you say, let's be patriotic, which is very important, and let us try as much as possible to carry everyone along. Everyone is going through this. You're not the only one. It's not just one particular family or three families. All Nigerians are going through this, and it affects each and every one of us across all borders, whether middle class, whether low class, whether the rich. Everyone knows that there's hiking, that, and you have to pay double from what you've been paying for before. So unfortunately, this is what we are. But good news, like you said, and that beam of light at the end of the tunnel, it will shine really, really bright pretty soon.
Pretty soon, we're waiting for that time. You know, Nigerians have waited for so long. But the truth is this, a lot of people are saying, whatever it is Nigerians are going through right now, Naira is becoming, I don't know, I don't want to call that stabilized. But then, the issue of getting Naira to dollar almost got to 2,000 Naira at the point.
Yes,
but I think there's a reduction, there's a drop. And the most important thing is Nigerians are still waiting for when a Naira will be to a dollar.
That would be
that possibility. Everything, I think it's possible, but then it may take a very long time.
Yes, it will.
The floating of the Naira came with a lot.
Came with the ban.
A lot. You know what it means when subsidy is being removed immediately and Naira is being floated. That's what got us to where we are. But then I think the CBN governor, these are experts. You know, when we mention names like this, these are experts. And what this administration made us understood when they were coming into office is that they are coming in to work with experts. So we feel everyone in very strategic positions are experts and should know what to do per time. We're not saying they are not trying, but then Nigerians need to feel the direct impact of whatever you're doing, because evidence is the end of argument.
Yes.
When there are evidences on ground, sing your praises. And Nigerians, you know Nigerians, they don't mind clamoring for you to return. You know, even when your tenure is over, that you are good and they felt your impact, they will clamor for you. They want to do everything, go on social media,
go
all out to make sure you return. But then, they need to see that handwriting boldly written on the wall that this person has done well, and the evidence is so obvious that it can't be hidden, you know.
Like just to add to what you've just said, Ramsey, you know, when you look at a country like Nigeria, most individuals who the less privileged, they really do not understand when you give us numbers. When you say 60% of this, we're getting to this particular point, or we're getting to 100% or 80%. Some people do not understand numbers. They do not know what you are talking about, because, hey, that's your field. As in, you're the professional in that particular field. Now, individuals prefer impact. When I go to the market and I see that I can buy a kilo of beef for as low as 1,000 naira, 1.5, compared to the 6.5, or is it 7.5 you buy per kilo, or there's just reduction in things. That's when they actually feel and understand that, okay, something is happening and this individual or this particular administration is working. So awareness needs to be created. So when you give us numbers, explain it to us how it's going to affect us positively in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day routine. I think once we get to that point, I think it will be smooth sail all the way, right, Ramsey, at a point.
Are you sure a lot of Nigerians are still thinking about beef? Some people have condescended to crayfish.
I'm just giving an instant.
Crayfish,
that when
fish,
that impact of it was 6.5 and now I go and I see it at 1.5. Okay, something is happening. That's when we understand with our basics that is happening around us. We see that drastic positive change that impacts us in one way or the other. Then automatically we know that a particular administration is working, or an individual is working.
We're looking forward to that time. I know a lot of people are warming up for 2027 already. But if 2025 is not in place, it's not in good shape, how comes you're thinking about 2027? At least make 2025 great so that 2027 can become a reality. That's the truth. Okay, irrespective of who is going to come up there, irrespective of who would want to come there, let's see something in 2025 so that we can be proud of the forthcoming 2027. A lot of handwritings on the wall. Someone says something that the first day a politician gets into office, that's the day they start preparing for the next election. Someone said so. But no matter what it is, let's get to feel the impact of 2025. 2024 is gone, so we're not talking so much about it.
No, we're not.
It's now history, all right? 2024 is now history. 2025 is here. Then the future is 2026 and 2027 before the next election. So let's see something in 2025 to give us a better hope for 2027, even though the people that Nigerians are thinking should give the sitting government a run for their money. It's not doing so well right now because of internal crisis and the problem, disagreements here and there. I don't know who or what is responsible, but this is unusual. But I look at it sometimes as an embarrassment to the members, especially the caucus, the big names in these parties, the big guns. You shouldn't it's just like a father. You can't fold your arms and see things go wrong in your family and you're comfortable. But all the same, let's see if they can put their house in order, maybe do a merger or coalition, whatever, and give this administration a run for their money. It's just a check and balance. Okay, it's just a check and balance. When there is a strong opposition, the sitting government will at least sit up to an extent. But when there is no opposition, you just come out, you talk, just media blabbing, just come on the media, just say one or two things, and we are not seeing results. We're not seeing a follow-up. We're not seeing what we are supposed to see, the real opposition. Then Nigerians will not look at it as if anything is happening yet. But then, let's see how 2027 is going to go and how these parties will come together to iron out whatever crisis they have internally.
And then talking about whatever crisis they have internally, people are watching. A lot of people, you have to put your house in order first of all before you can actually rule a state or a nation. So it's very important that the house must be kept in order. Like that example that you gave is very important. But we see all these issues popping up in political parties, and we just wonder if it's like this and you're not in position. Then when you're in position, what is going to happen? Are you going to work in unison? Are you going to work in unity? Or we're just going to be going back and forth with the same old issue and ignoring reality, which is the nation at hand. All right, now we're going to go on a very quick break, and then when we come back, it's the newspaper review segment. Do not go anywhere. It's Global Television on Global Morning. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. right, you're welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Global Morning on Global Television. At about this time is the newspaper review segment, and we'll be starting with the first paper, and it's the blueprint. Yes, and below the nameplate of the blueprint, the Star Story does says presidency to Nigerians on 2027. Ignore opposition spreading ill will against Tinubu. And then above the nameplate of the blueprint, it says here 1,000 Kaduna pilgrims for 2025 Hajj refunds, 2023 Hajj refunds. And here it says on the blueprint, it says Americans may feel pain from tariffs, but will be worth the price. And that is what Trump has said there. He said Americans may feel pains from tariff, but will be worth the price. And still on the blueprint, it says Nigeria on red alert as Uganda confirms Ebola outbreak. What a sad incident there. God, please, we do not want that in our country at all. Ebola is not something that we want at this point in time. All right, that's all the stories making rounds on the Blueprint newspaper. Up next is the Vanguard. Ramsey.
Thank you very much. Let's quickly look at the Vanguard newspaper this morning, where we have some stories making rounds. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning, this story is above the nameplate. FBN is the kicker. Why banks cannot comply with order lifting restriction on GHL's accounts. That's on the Vanguard newspaper. Then this one says the story of Ayuba Bello. How, okay. All right. That's more like an announcement. Then we have the big story, very big one, on the page of Vanguard. The subsidy removal, that's the kicker. Oil marketers expand borrowings by 76.5% to 3.0 trillion naira. Some riders to that story. The first rider says profit up 49.9% to 420.9 billion naira. The second rider says as their cost of doing business rise 78.9% to 156.9 billion naira. Revenue rises 59.9% to 5.3 trillion naira. Another rider says analysts, economy experts link situation to deregulation. Then this one says investors are up to higher dividend. Then the last rider to that story says deregulation had been very costly to businesses, citizens. That's coming from Dr. Yusuf. More headlines are still coming from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still about the tariff hike, the telco tariff hike. This one says a telecom tariff hike. That's the kicker. The federal government meets NLC leaders over tomorrow's protest. Details on page 8. You know, we talked about this some times back when we're talking about the fact that sometimes you hear of these strike actions and protests, I beg your pardon, you hear of these protests, and at the end of the day, they don't seem to hold water. A lot of people are even trying to not have too much trust on NLC anymore, because now you're hearing of a meeting. After the meeting, what else? What else is going to come out of this? You know, civil society organizations have been on top of their games. Maybe like SERAP, you hear SERAP sue this, sue that. NLC going on strike. A lot of people protest and all sorts. But then, what's the aftermath? What's the effect and the impact of this protest? I remember the kind of protest that happened during the subsidy removal, you know, but only for NLC to come out to say, well, this is not what we discussed. All right, you told us the price of this commodity is going to be pegged at a particular price, I think 700 and something, but then it's skyrocketed to as high as 1,000 naira. We only heard NLC saying this is not what we accepted, but after that statement, what next?
And then at that point, I could remember that also, and it looked as if they were having internal problems in the NLC, that these people were for the government and the others were not for the government. And it was just unfortunate that people, like you said, a lot of people do not have that faith anymore in the NLC. We just feel we just come out, there is a protest, and then what next, basically? Is there any answer to the solution on ground, or what is actually going on? So we keep going back and forth, just disrupting things and all of that. But we hopefully, I hope they get their game together and they know that they are the voice of the people, individuals in the society.
Well, let's see what will happen after the meeting. There's going to be a meeting, like it's on the papers. Federal government is meeting with NLC leaders over tomorrow's protest. Details you can find on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. 28 passengers burned to death in Ondo auto crash. All right, the issue of auto crash, if it is not a tanker, it is a vehicle's auto crash is becoming just too much. I don't know why all of this is happening. Is it because of the kind of roads that we have in Nigeria? But then when Omai came into office talking about roads, the first thing that he promised was that he was going to work on Nigerian roads, especially the federal roads that some states have left the way it is, because it is not their responsibility, according to them, to handle. And we also saw when he was revoking contracts given to contractors that didn't carry out the contracts that they were given, building of roads and all of that. So this auto crash is becoming too much. Okay, something needs to be done. But then you can't just attribute this auto crash to bad roads alone, in as much as the roads are bad. How careful are the drivers? You know, how many of them still drink and drive?
A lot.
You know, a lot of them, you know, take stops behind the wheels, and that's not the best. So the life of every Nigerian is very important.
Not just drinking. How many of them use drugs and substance
that's it.
On the road? Because some people, they take these, especially these big truck drivers, to stay awake, to keep abreast. You know, they are on, it's like they have to give returns. They have to be as fast as possible. They want to quickly go and come back and all of that without sleeping. So they have to take substance to stay alert and awake. And this is dangerous. A lot of people die in the cause of taking substance, being drunk on the road, being on really high substance. And this is just unfortunate that we have all of these crashes and all of that. And not just the individuals, not just drivers. The roads itself has a problem. There are lots of potholes. Like now, for people, when you go by road from Abuja to Lagos, for instance, it's like a whole day. Why? Because the roads are bad. Sometimes people will tell you 10 hours you're in Lagos back in the day, but now it exceeds to that point. So bad roads is a contribution. The individuals as well who are on high substance when it comes to drug, substance abuse, and of course alcohol are also the problem. And that's why their lives, you know, they just waste a lot of lives and they die in that process, which is unfortunate. So I think a lot of awareness needs to be created. People need to, traffic wardens need to be on the road more to actually assess. Outside the country, they will assess you. Once you pass a particular speedometer, they will pull you down, blow into a bag or walk on a straight line. They'll actually test the driver before you continue. Why? He's not doing that to waste your time. He's doing that to prevent you from road crashes and all of that. So we need to put all of these precautionary measures into place, and we should take these very seriously. It's very, very important because your life matters. It doesn't matter whether you're big or you're small, or you feel the economy no one cares about. There's someone that depends on you, so your life matters. So all of these road crashes, there are lots of contributory aspects to it. When it comes, I will say, roads, and of course these drivers who are frustrated, who want to beat that particular return. Everyone has a sole role to play on that. So, well, let's see how well it plays.
All right, whether mechanical or human factors, whatever it is that is responsible for these crashes should be looked into. The issue of, boy, match and small now, you're too slow. Please don't allow anyone, no passenger should tell you to to speed and you accept to do that. I don't know if you've heard like that. Sometimes you're traveling and you're hearing things like Obomacha Smona.
Everyone, for me, on a lighter note, so everyone that knows me, when we're not going with the car, we have to pick just to when we need content and we just want to discuss with the drivers and all of that. You see the driver for our cameraman Sebastian. I know J Man said, like, when you are driving off point, I will tell you, hey, what's wrong with you? Are you kidding me?
I always say, hey, Jesus.
That's what they later on. So you sometimes, when the driver, it doesn't matter, commercial bus, or when the driver is really going off point because he wants to make his daily returns, you can actually tell him, are you kidding me right now? Some people say when you say that, you distract the driver.
No, you need to call the driver to all that, because we're talking about your life here. You mean so much to Nigeria, you mean so much to your community.
Your family, are you kidding me?
Yeah, we need to start from Nigeria to your family and a whole lot. So don't allow anyone
to toy with your life. And the truth is, most people in that particular commercial vehicle, when it comes to the bus or the taxi, they are fathers, mothers, someone's children, people look up to these individuals. So when a driver is driving off point, please tell him in a respectful manner, because when you shout on him, he feels, they'll tell you, especially in Lagos, they'll tell you, this is my office, you cannot come and harass me in my office. And I'm
said it all.
Yes,
matter of approach matters.
Very important.
The way you talk to people matters so much.
Yes, it does.
It
can trigger. It can make
and it can mark.
Yes, so it can. So be careful.
Be careful the way you talk to people, not just drivers alone. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, more headlines still coming from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Nigeria, Africa, under pressure as Trump slams tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China. Well, Trump is everywhere. I said something. I said, if you're talking about the United States, you're somehow talking about the world.
Yes, you are.
Because most of the things that happens in US, the United States, have a way of affecting other parts of
rubbing
off on the other parts of the
yes,
world,
it does.
either directly or indirectly.
Yes, it does.
Okay, before you're all aware of what's happening. How many Nigerians? About 3,690 Nigerians on the radar of deportation. From the United States right now, and in fact, NICOM is busy saying Nigeria is ready to accept them, but then. How are they going to be integrated into the society? These are people that some of them have led for as long as 10, 20, 15, 5 years and all of that. Where are they coming to start their life? So the issue of Donald Trump's emergence is the beginning of wisdom for so many people in different ways.
But you know what, Ramsey? Let's just sway a bit into this immigration deportation issue. I listened to someone and she says most of the UK learnt its lesson when they tried this, deporting immigrants that were not from the UK, saying EU, there was this class of difference and all of that. And then when they all left, most of these individuals that left, there were no ones who wanted to, the indigents, that's the nationals, they want to do the menial jobs. The truck drivers, you see that they're immigrants, the farmers, they're immigrants, storekeepers, they're immigrants who actually do all of these things. And then the United Kingdom had to beg these immigrants to please come back. So for me, I think this is a process. We're talking about you said something about saying that Nigerians said they are willing to accommodate. Do you think they want to come back to this country?
I was just thinking about it. How many of them are even see? This thing is going to. We're just saying it now on a very light note, but it is not that light.
It is not light.
You know what it means for someone who doesn't even have anything back home.
Not only
to
that,
be thrown out of a country,
and
okay, where are they coming to?
And that's why.
And imagine the challenging economy that we have.
No, do you know what? Right. For me, I always say something. Like I always say that God can actually intervene in this matter because of one man or one family who has prayed. like, I don't know. I know that good things come to people, and for someone to jackpot or leave a country because he wants a better source of livelihood because the system in your own country is not working. I believe God, and I believe that for families who are there, who they do not know what to do, I know that God will intervene. I know that this is just that it will just come and it will go. Anyway, trouble, because most of us have lovers and families. Are you kidding me? So the truth is, so the thing is, I know that God. No, I'm just saying.
That's an intercession for.
I believe that it's not
for your loved ones and every
other Nigerian that is there. I believe
Nigerians alone. Everyone
has
been faced with this
exactly. But I believe that there's going to be an intervention. I believe it's, for me, it's just my opinion, not global television.
I so much believe in that.
It's not. That's one that Trump is saying, bringing people back, and people that they will not. It's not going to work. Really, I'm just saying that's what.
All right. Just 2 more headlines from the Vanguard newspaper, and we will be done. Again, First Bank abuses court process, coming from GHL. Then you begin to ask questions. What's the pedigree of the judicial system in Nigeria right now? Because we heard people disobeying court orders, from politicians to individuals. Now it's a financial institution. Well, because of one or two things, we may not be able to talk much on that. But I
just want to say something. It just comes into play when you say, when people lead, others follow. So it starts from the top. Once you start breaking laws, breaking rules, the ones behind you are watching. They might cheer you on and they might keep quiet, but one day the tables will definitely turn and you'll fall on their laps, and they will also break rules and regulations. So it's just, leaders, you have to set good examples for others to follow, especially those in very sensitive office. Please, it's very important, because people are watching. People are watching.
It's even embarrassing to hear that a bank is abusing court process.
Like, seriously, really.
Court orders.
What happened to our monies? I'm telling you, then our monies. Then we're in serious trouble in this country. But we pray that everything's going well.
We don't want to talk about the financial sector.
No, we don't.
If I share my own experience, time will not allow.
Yours or mine. So let's just leave it at that.
That's it. But then something needs to be done.
Violating court orders, banks, sensitive institution that you know, that organization that you know. Our money and our money is in your hands. Are you kidding me?
All right. Finally, from the Vanguard newspaper, Nasima Neka slammed presidential aid for threatening fresh electricity tariff hike. All right. Tariff hike, electricity tariff hike. I don't know. I don't even know the band that I'm in, because they just come tell you what they want and bring the bill that they want to bill you, how much they want to bill you. They don't even care what you have. You don't have a meter, and they have refused to give out meters. So they just come, do what they want to do, and go away with their profits. And you don't even get to see the power that you're paying for. Just the way we're talking about telco tariff hike right now. How is the service like? Then you're talking about a hike. Give us a good service. Come up with a hike. Nigerians wouldn't even mind. It's just like you're making like ₦1 million, then someone is asking you to pay 200,000 naira. You wouldn't mind, because you have 800 naira.
As long as I'm getting value for money.
If you're getting value, you wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind at all, as long as I am getting value for money and I can see what I am doing. It's money's worth, so it wouldn't be a problem. Once it becomes a problem when I do not see money's worth and I'm not getting value for money, that's when it becomes a serious problem. I think it's the same with all Nigerians. You cannot bill me so high, and at the long run you are doing some shady deals at the end of it all. It doesn't work that way.
Well, that's not the hidden charges yet.
That's not the hidden.
That's not the. We're not even talking about the hidden charges yet.
Exactly. We're not even talking about and we're not even talking about the rollovers yet. We're not talking about the one that you tell us that you still have this point something gigs or whatever left, and it's not there, and I do not have data, and you're telling me I have.
I know the telco that even if it is there, you can't use it.
You can't use it.
Because their network is the worst network so far, as far as I'm concerned, based on my assessment. I'm not calling your name, so don't even worry. Except somebody that has the same experience like mine.
Of course we know.
Let's get to the next paper.
And of course, the next paper on the newspaper review is the Punch newspaper. And here on the Punch newspaper, it says OPE, one of the banking sectors here. I don't know if you do that.
That's a fintech.
Exactly. Yes, it is. And then here it says, now OPE, now it says the story of Ayuba Bello, and it says how OPE scholarship sustained a family's livelihood. Well, that's, we should be happy.
You take from me, you give to me.
You take, exactly. You're taking from me, you're still giving to me. Well, yeah, it's good.
It's better than people are not doing anything.
At all.
No, see, one thing about this scholarship of a thing, for those of us that have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You know, no matter how much it is that the scholarship is, no matter how much, it's going to go a long way.
Yes.
Looking at the challenging economy that we have. So other fintech and telcos, let me call you guys out this time, do more, all right, of these humanitarian services, give scholarship, help people and all of that. If it is within your PR system anyway, because the social corporate responsibility is always there.
Yes, it is. And of course, the star story there says why banks cannot lift order to freezing GHL's account, and that's First Bank. And you can find that on page 31. And said electricity tariff hike looms as federal government plans to end subsidy. And then Dangote price slash marketers with imported fuel fear losses. And the writer there says dealers say stiff competition forces Dangote refinery plus slash to 890 naira per liter. Hooray. Everyone is happy, but we want to see it. We want to see that impact.
Translate into something that we can see. Let me get to the road and say, okay, I'm going to Metama. How much is Metama? Okay, bolt, you know.
And you pay 500.
Okay, it's 500.
Not 4,000.
Good.
Or 5,000.
Not 4,000 anymore. Not 5,000 anymore. Oh, Dangote, kudos. I think the marketers should do something, because sometimes Dangote will reduce like this and the marketers will want to do their own thing.
Exactly.
Recently, I don't know why this reduction is coming in, but recently they said they would prefer to buy from outside instead of buying from Dangote. That of Dangote is more expensive than getting from outside. Before now, the issues we had is the fact that bringing it in from outside was expensive, and Nigerians were paying through their nose.
Yes.
And now we have Dangote here, and it's still that high. Then they said, if that of Dangote is high, we need to get from the international organization, the international bodies. But now that the price is coming down, let's do everything possible. I beg your pardon. Let's do everything that we can do to make sure the price goes round. Let's feel it.
Yeah, let's feel that.
Nigerians should feel it.
Nigerians should feel it in the voice of Ramsey. And then here on page 4 it says NCDC tightens airport surveillance at Uganda battles Ebola. I believe Laduje has information on Bola Ige's murder. Laduje has information on Bola Ige's murder. Okay, we're going to go back and forth with that, and let's just see.
I was trying to think about how many years ago.
That's a very long time. Well, a very long time. But let's just see. Let's know what that is all about, basically. And of course, that's all the read on the Punch newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed on the issues making round. And next is The Nation. Over to you, Ramsey.
Yes, FBN is on almost all the papers this morning. I think this calls for attention. I have this story right here, and it says FBN does the kicker. Why banks cannot comply with other lifting restriction on GHL's account. We've talked about that on the papers that we've taken so far. Then the big story, which is the star story on the Nation's newspaper, says presidency to Atiku. El-Rufai will be others. We will meet in 2027. We will meet in 2027. That's presidency is telling Atiku, El-Rufai, Obi, and others. We will meet in 2027. I said it. As soon as any government is coming into office, the first thing they start working on is how they can take power or retain power in the next election. I said it, I've not even seen this paper when I made that statement.
But it's true.
That's what it's saying. The presidency is saying Atiku, Obi, others, just Erufai. Let's meet in 2027. It's not all about talking. You know, Erufai has been speaking lately, but they are now saying, hey, come on, say whatever you want to say. The Hausa man will say Gafili Gadoki. You know, when it is time, 2027, we get to know who is who. Well, that is the star story on the Nation's newspaper this morning. We will meet in 2027, and of course, there are some writers to that story. No alternative to APC, says Masari. No alternative to APC, said Masari. Why opposition leaders can't be president by Lookman? Why opposition leaders can't be president? If you want to know why, pick a copy of the Nation's newspaper. Then this one says GHL. FBN's alleged appeal of order lifting Mariva abuse of court process. And of course, that's going to be the size. But then let me take this last one. Owando turnover rises to 4.1 trillion naira. 30 die in Odo Road accident. Details on page 25 of the Nation's newspaper. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Nation's newspaper this morning.
All right, quickly now on the Guardian newspaper. We're just going to rush through all the papers quickly because of our time. And the star story here says anxiety over oil output exploration as 55 licenses expire this year. And here it says state governors and listful appoints for more airports. And Obasa's outing divided APC as fraction battle for control. Experts CDWR fault electricity telecom tariff hike. And here it says telcos prepare 50% tariff hike set for roll out in March. And that's the size of the Guardian. Please go out and get yourself a copy.
All right, the Nigerian News Direct says that the big stories where I'm hitting straight up. 2027 is the kicker. Wait for next election to test your popularity. Just one writer to that story. Presidency tells opposition figures. Then this one says, Urban Knowledge Series. Pay attention to documentation to avoid unnecessary tax liability. Experts urge SMEs. Why Tinubu will support Adeleke's re-election as governor. This is coming from his aide. Details on page 3. And of course, I have this one still on Nigerian News Direct. FY 2024. Owando post 47% growth in revenue to 4.1 trillion naira. Police rescue 23 kidnapped victims of Kaura, reunite them with family. And finally, from the Nigerian News Direct, NLNG opens submission for 2025 Nigeria prizes. And that's the details on the Nigerian News Direct this morning.
All right, now the Daily Trust, and it reads below the nameplate. It says the story of Ayuba Bello, which we read, how OPA scholarship. We've read that story before on the newspaper, and it says 30 dead, 2 injured in Ondo auto crash. We've read that story also. NLC nationwide strike against telco tariff hike, and of course, it says here. The star story is federal government plans fresh electricity tariff hike. We've said that already, and we're just going to quickly brush through the Daily Times.
The Daily Times, beginning from the star story this morning, PDP will come out stronger from current crisis. Zamfara governor is the one saying that. Then this one says there's no immunity to crime. DG wants core members. Then Maritime University Act will deepen peace in Niger Delta, says ex-IYC boss. And finally, from the Daily Times newspaper this morning, Tinubu's snatch grab agenda will destroy Nigeria's democracy. This is coming from Atiku, an opposition speaking right there. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Daily Times newspaper this morning.
All right, the last paper, which is the Daily Independent, before we wrap it up on the newspaper segment, says FBN, why banks cannot comply with other lifting restrictions on GHL's account. You can find that story on page 4 and below the nameplate. It says 2025 budget estimated 13 trillion naira funding gap may compound real sector growth. That is in the words of experts. And the writer there says here, say consumers' income may probably addition 13 trillion naira poverty. And CBN, it says improving diaspora remittance reforms may actually be suitable growth. And Buhari Tinubu's democratic components have taken APC to an early grave, says ex-APC vice chair. And that's the size of the newspaper review on Global Television. Please go out and get yourself a copy on all the trending issues making round. Up next is the AM News on Global Television. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into variety of current affairs and topics. And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. It's coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television's on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. Now the news in full. The House of Representatives Committee on Communications is interfacing with the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) to avert the nationwide protest scheduled for February 4th, 2025 over the 50% hike in telecom tariff. The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) recently approved a 50% tariff increase for telecommunications companies, citing prevailing operational cost. Following this development, the NLC vowed to embark on a nationwide protest, calling on the federal government and the National Assembly to revert to the old tariff in the interim. Governor Hyacinth Ali of Benue State has charged the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria to join active politics in order to bring about the much-needed change in governance. The governor made the call when he played host to the North Central Zone of the association in an interactive meeting. Our correspondent Felicity Indare has more.
With the association at the instance of Governor Hyacinth Alia is to share ideas with the body of Christ on how best to influence governance and bring about the desired change for the overall good of society. The governor told the Christian community to be preachers of peace and unity, advocates of human capital development who must insist on what is right in the sight of God. He maintained that all these can only be achieved when people with the fear of God participate actively in politics of the nation to ensure good governance.
What benefit would it be when you just stand on the side complaining, and every government and regime that comes in, you complain, then you drink water and settle and then keep complaining? Are you fulfilled? You cannot be fulfilled. Be a player. Be a player. There's so much you can do. When you understand the word, it even places you on a better platform for you to bring social change.
The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the North Central region stated that they are committed to representing the church as ambassadors of not only the spiritual realm, but also for societal development. While appreciating the numerous achievements of the governor within his short time in office, the leaders of CAN encouraged him to remain focused and hold firm his vision for the state, assuring the governor of all-round support.
The challenges facing our religion today, whether in governance, security, education, economic development, or religious harmony, requires a unified approach. No single individual, institution, or government can address them alone. Progress is only sustainable when public leaders, religious organizations, civil society, and private sector work together in synergy.
Prayers were offered for the governor as well as goodwill messages from CAN leadership across the state in the North Central and the Federal Capital Territory. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
President, Nigerian Bar Association MBA Afamosigwe San has commended President Bola Tinubu for signing the Nigerian Maritime University Bill into law. Osigwe said the university, when fully operational, will not only create jobs for the Niger Delta people, but also possibly lead to the end of agitation in the region. A statement he personally signed described the initiative as heuristic, several years after the idea of the university was mooted as one of the possible solutions to the agitation in the Niger Delta. The Nigerian Governors Forum has congratulated Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri on his election as chairman of the South-South Governors Forum. A statement by Diri's spokesman Daniel Alaba
confirmed that the governor was elected during a meeting of South-South governors held at Government House Yenengua. In a congratulatory letter signed by its chairman, Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, and Forum described Dewey's election as a recognition of his leadership, dedication to governance, and commitment to the progress of the South-South region. Meanwhile, the president of the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agency, Yinka Falami, has expressed concern over the recent near-crash incidents in the aviation industry. He urged stakeholders, particularly the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and airline operators, to come together to address all safety concerns for the sake of the traveling public. Yinka, in a statement, noted that the safety of the operation ecosystem must be prioritized for the sake of the traveling passengers. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, has released a preliminary report on its ongoing investigation into the crash landing of an Allied Air Boeing 737-400 fighter at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, which took place on December 11, 2024. The Bureau stated that the plane was scheduled to collect cargo for the Central Bank of Nigeria. However, a more detailed report stated that the aircraft en route to collect cargo for the Central Bank of Nigeria experienced a malfunction with its flaps during its final approach. Over now to the Nigerian police says it will go ahead with the enforcement of the third-party insurance law states starting February 1st. Spokesman of the police, ACP Muiwa Adejobi, who made the disclosure, hinting that in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, the Nigerian police force once again reiterates the enforcement of mandatory third-party insurance, which will commence on February 1st, 2025. He said the initiative aims to reinforce road safety measures and ensure that all vehicle owners comply with the stipulated insurance requirements to protect themselves and others on the road. The Defense Headquarters has commenced the construction of Invictus Center of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, a state-of-the-art rehabilitation facility designed to provide medical and psychological care for wounded, injured, and sick military personnel. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony in Abuja, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, he said he described the project as a significant step in ensuring the well-being of military personnel who have sustained physical and psychological wounds in a time of duty. Imo State Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government says it is poised to drive innovation, skills and development and digital transformation in 2025. Following Governor Hope Uzodinma's recent visit to the ministry's facility, stakeholders are optimistic of new initiatives that will empower citizens and strengthen the state's digital economy. Amarachi Ibe tells us more.
In an interview with Chimezi Amadi, the Commissioner for Digital Economy and E-Government, he highlighted the ministry's strategic plans for 2025, including expanding digital skills training under the Skill Up Imo project, fostering tech-driven entrepreneurship, and enhancing e-governance solutions to improve public service delivery.
His Excellency has just announced the evolving partnership between the Imo State government and the Silicon Valley in California to build the Imo State Digital City. This is also evolving and will happen pretty soon. And when that happens, Imo State will automatically become the regional and the national innovation hub and the digital skills capital of Nigeria, which is part of our dream and our pursuit.
Amadi stated that the ministry also plans to strengthen partnerships with tech firms and academic institutions to build a digitally savvy workforce. Experts believe these initiatives will position Imo State as a leading digital hub in Nigeria.
Use 2022 to 2023 and even 2024, also 2025, to build a strong digital empowered citizens and also industry-ready digital workforce. These industry-ready digital workforce will be effectively deployed both in the private sector, public sector, and also the informal sector.
With a clear roadmap for innovation and empowerment, the Imo State Ministry of Digital Economy says it is set to make 2025 a transformative year as the state harnesses technology for growth. The vision of a digitally inclusive and economically vibrant Imo State becomes even more attainable. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
Operatives of Kaduna State Police Command have intercepted a vehicle transporting 13 victims of human trafficking to Oyo State and arrested 3 suspects. The Force's Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, disclosed this in a statement. Adejobi noted that in a separate incident on January 29th, Ogun State Police Command conducted a covert operation locating a kidnapper's den following a reported abduction on January 25th. You are watching the live broadcast of AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, when AM News returns. Serap demands Tinubu probe 26 billion naira oil sector scandal. We'll bring you those details as well as foreign and sports stories right after the break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SIRAP, has given President Bola Tinubu a 7-day ultimatum to address alleged corruption in the oil sector. The group is urging him to direct the Attorney General, Lateef Fagbemi-San, and anti-corruption agencies to investigate the disappearance of over 26 billion naira. In 2021, the funds were reportedly missing, diverted or stolen from the Petroleum Technology Development Fund and the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. And now to the World Bank through Agro-Climate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape and Nasarawa State Government have signed a 10 billion naira deal with Bashos Global, ICCO, and Jet Engineering to fight against soil erosion in Lafia, Doma, and total local government areas of the state. The agency's project coordinator in Nasarawa, Dr. Napoleon Elias Goigbe, revealed this recently after signing off the agreement in Lafia, the state capital. Adding that the contract was aimed at tackling climate change, Dr. Elias Goigbe said the contract agreement was signed with the 2 private companies to address stormwater management sites and other environmental challenges in Toto Doma and Lafia local government areas. The Federal Housing Authority has given estate developers in Lugbe, Karu, and Kubwa areas of the Federal Capital Territory a 3-month deadline to regularize their construction approvals. The authority further stated that all ongoing developments in these areas until the required documentation is provided remain suspended. The Federal Housing Authority statement also noted that developers are required to present key documents, including letters of allocation, approved building plans, payment receipt, and other proof of ownership, such as consent letter for those who have transferred property ownership. The federal government has announced plans to introduce an annual electricity subsidy of $600 million for all customers from 2025 as part of efforts to reform the power sector. The subsidy, expected to last until 2027, aims to bridge the gap between cost-reflective tariffs and regulated electricity rates, while the government works towards eliminating the metering deficit and enhancing the financial sustainability of power distribution companies. Nigeria's Energy Compact document stated that the initiative is part of the National Energy Compact and aligns with Nigeria's border electrification and clear energy transition plans. The Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria has urged marketers to reduce the price of premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, following the reduction in the export due price of the product from 950 naira to 890 naira per litre by Dangote Refinery. Dangote Refinery announced a reduction in the ex-depot price in a statement where he says the price cut was influenced by the recent decline in global crude oil prices and the positive outlook in the international energy market. On the foreign scene now, authorities in Sydney are investigating whether explosives discovered in a caravan were intended for an automatic attack. Police said the explosive could have caused a 40-meter wide blast and significant damage, noting that the threat was contained. Investigators stated that a note was found in the caravan that displayed optimistic messages. United States President Donald Trump says he ordered military airstrikes on a senior attack planner and others from the Islamic State group in Somalia. In a post on X, the Office of the President of Somalia said they have been informed of the U.S. strike targeting senior IS leadership in the northern part of the country. Trump, however, did not name any of the people targeted in the strikes. Air traffic control staffing was not normal at the time of the mid-air collision between a military helicopter and passenger plane in Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people. Transportation Security Secretary Sean Duffy has acknowledged. U.S. media reported that according to a government report, Reagan staff during Wednesday's crash. One air traffic control worker was managing helicopters and same planes from the airport, a job normally done by two people, two sources says. And in sports stories now, former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya suffered his second career knockout loss on Saturday night, falling to Nasruddin Umavic via second-round TKO in the main event of UFC Fight Night 250 in Saudi Arabia. The Nigerian Kiwi fighter, who entered the bout on a two-fight losing streak following defeats to Sean Strickland and Duperes de Percy, stated well with a series of hard low kicks. However, Umavic remained undeterred, landing a stiff shovel hook that snapped back Adesanya's head in the first round. Indians fans ambushed a train carrying Venezia supporters after their Serie A match on Saturday, triggering a mass brawl that left several people injured and led to 8 arrests, Italian police says on Sunday. Around 50 Italian and Australian Udinese supporters, many covering their faces and wielding flares and smoke bombs, occupied the tracks at Barcelona near the northeastern city of Udine, where the home side had won 3-2. The forced a train carrying Venezia supporters to stop, at which point several dozen fans on board descended onto the platform, sparking what police described as a massive brawl. The Nigerian Governors Forum has congratulated Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri on his election as chairman of South-South Governors Forum. In business, the federal government has announced plans to introduce an annual electricity subsidy of $60 million for all customers for 2025 as part of efforts to reform the power sector. And on our foreign scene, we brought to you that air traffic control staffing was not normal at the time of the mid-air collision between a military helicopter and passenger plane in Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has acknowledged. And in sports, Udinese fans ambushed a train carrying Vesnair supporters after their Serie A match on Saturday, triggering a mass brawl that left several people injured and led to 8 arrests, Italian police says on Saturday. And that's it on Global Television AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on ICOMSAT. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using at Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good morning.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on
the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from the AM News. It is still Global Morning on Global Television. And of course, the first conversation is about to get started. We want to talk about something very vital, and we have an expert join us on the conversation today. Local government autonomy, you know, this has been in for a while now. Some persons are wondering, why has the disbursement not started? The other time we heard that the accounts were not ready. And just yesterday, it was on the 4th that local government autonomy, as it is right now, CBN is demanding 2-year audited accounts of local councils. Now, the question is, do we have auditor generals in these local government councils? How effective are they? How many of these local councils have their audited accounts up to date? So, to an extent, this is stopping this disbursement and this local government autonomy take effect the way it is supposed to be, or else just the way we have the accountant general. So also we have the auditor general for the state and even the local government. But how effective? Because we've had caretaker chairmen all the while. So we just want to look at it. What's the possibility of getting 2-year audited accounts of local councils? Our guest to be joining us, Agaba Wilson Agaba. He is a financial expert and public affairs analyst. He's joining us via Zoom from Abuja. As a matter of fact, he is going to respond to the questions that we have on the program this morning. It's good to have you join us, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, looking at the local government autonomy, you know, some persons have been wondering, why has it not taken effect after the judgment from the court? But day by day, we kept hearing of issues unfolding. The first time they said accounts were not ready. Right now, we're hearing that the Central Bank of Nigeria needs 2-year audited accounts of the local councils. What's your take on that? Is that a good move in the right direction?
Well, generally, I expect that there will be some form of delay in the implementation of all the process leading to full autonomy of the local government. Why do I think so? Because over the years, I think it was the administration from 1999 to 2003 that allowed local government election in many states. Afterwards, local government became a tier of the government that is managed by the state governors in property. So they put interim chairmen there, and they run the enterprise like a subsidiary of the state. So that's what has been happening. So a lot of things will be out of order. And you don't want to just start sending money into systems that are not properly organized. Because at the end of the day, it would defeat the very aim of the local government autonomy that we are seeking. They also would want to make sure that this money get of the governors again. Because the idea of local government autonomy is to bring governance closer to the people and to saddle local government with their responsibility. So I expect that there will be a little bit of cleaning of the system before they put money into it, if you really want the system to work. I'm surprised about the delay. And as for the request for audited statement, I am still trying to understand the rationale behind that. I believe that, and we can see, I don't think it is out of place. If you see the audited account, it's going to provide a lot of information. And asking them for audited account also, in my opinion, will prompt these people to pay. That is not going to be business as usual. It is not because you now have money, you can use it anyhow you want. I would even, in fact, said there should be some form of training for the local government. At least we should have training for the auditors, the accountants.
Okay, I think we're having a little bit of technical network challenges. The case maybe, still talking about telcos, network hitches here and there, even when you are paying for it. But then I think he was saying something very vital, and I saw you nod your head when he made mention of the training, because
very important.
So much may have gone wrong. You know what it means for the state governor to be in charge of the local government, and all you hear from most of the local government councils is caretaker chairman. They just put people there to help them run their affairs of the local government, not minding what goes on, because they have someone there who reports to them. So they decide how much goes down to the local councils, and they decide what the people do. Now it's not going to be business as usual.
No, it's not.
Wilson have just said, well, it's a move in the right direction to get their audited accounts, because the house must be in order, all right, before you can even begin to pump such money right there. And he said something very vital, and he said that's going to help the local governments. Now they are getting their monies directly from the federal government, and it's going to go a long way helping them. But the issue of training for the Auditor General and the accountants, because this is not going to be business as usual.
No, it's not.
Number one, they should be ready for the anti-graft agencies anytime, any day, because this money is coming from up there, and eyes are on the local government. But how prepared is the system? Because we're talking about a system here. Okay, how prepared? What do they know? The way they know how to do things is going to be different.
Totally.
Okay, so this training, I think it's important. What do you think?
Of course, like I said, it's always, like I've always mentioned when we were talking about this local government autonomy, I said, these local government chairman are used to the fact that they have someone that they look up to, who actually disburse finance to them, tells them, okay, this is how it is, this is who I want here, this is who I want. Now it's a different ballgame entirely. This is a lot of paperwork. This is a lot of, compilation when it comes to finance and all of that. And that training is very important. They need to be inclined on what goes to where, how it's supposed to be spent, disbursement, and how you're supposed to, deliver when it comes to issues like this. So that training is vital and it is important. And I hear that Wilson Agaba has joined us live via Zoom. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning.
All right, I know you spoke a lot about trainings and all of that, a lot by the local government chairman, but I want to ask a question. Now, let's look at the financial dependence of the local government on the Central Bank of Nigeria. How will it affect the autonomy and decision-making capabilities? Is very important.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the one that we currently operate, gives autonomy actually to the local government. So we have 3 tiers of government. We have the federal government, we have state government, and we have the local government. That Constitution also created a framework for revenue generation and revenue distribution among the 3 tiers of government. So, with this formula, you cannot say that the local government is dependent on the CBN. The local government is getting its own share of the revenue generated from across the country, from businesses and all economic activities that are taking place within local governments that are within state and within the federal government. That's the clarification on that side. Secondly, local governments also are empowered to generate revenue from certain activities, economic activities in their jurisdiction. What this will do then is local government chairmen that would like to perform and help their people will also become creative about improving this type of economic activities within their jurisdiction so they can generate money. I remember in my own local government back then in 1999, 2003, we had a local government chairman who did very well. He built bridges, he graded roads, he opened up a lot of villages and all of that. That did not just come from what they from allocation activity, the trainings and all of this. Because we should have maybe some permanent representatives that are civil servants who will stay beyond one chairman, so that these people can also be trained on how they can generate revenue, how they can ensure accountability, how they can, everything they need to do to run as a tier of government on their own. So I think that it will be sustainable, but we need to train people. We need to help them see the new dawn. That this is not as it used to be. There are things that you can do to help you. And you can do better if you look in this direction, if you look in this direction. These people need to be empowered with information to be able to do that. I think it is sustainable. And I think that allocation from central bank is also enshrined in the framework.
But I want to ask Mr. Wilson, do you think the local government chairman, they understand this policy that is out now? Do you think they understand the gravity at which it entails? Do you think they have that capacity, the mind to ensure that, like you mentioned, transparency, you mentioned that, because there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done. Would you think they will understand that there's a lot of procedure involved in this new policy? Like you mentioned, it's not as business as usual.
Now, the challenge is this: the process of recruiting politicians in the country. You will see that most of the people who are experts, who have things to offer, have left politics for the people who think it's a do or die affair, or I have no other thing to do, so I have to be here. And the requirement of our constitution for vying for political office is very minimal. Once you have a school cert or an equivalent of school cert, you can qualify. What I'm saying in essence is that to understand this policy, somebody needs to be educated to a certain level and needs to have some level of information. We have local government chairmen that are, elected because they have been playing ball with the governor, and the governor and plus the party compensated them by getting them there. Some of them can barely read or write.
True.
How then can they understand this policy? However, the structure that we run also provides a caveat. That is the reason why you have special advisors and assistants. So if you are not well educated, then do yourself well to get very educated people whom you trust to be your advisor or to even consult for you, so that they can help you understand this policy in your local language, and they can guide you on how to implement it and navigate all the potholes that may be on the road for you. So it's going to be difficult. That is why I say it's going to be a whole lot of process. In my opinion, it's not something we should rush. Now the law has been passed. The government is ready to do it. It is better for us to do it right instead of doing it hastily, because it's not about how far but how well. So we have to understand that there are a lot of local government chairmen that will not be able to read, will not be able to write, and may find it difficult to understand basic policy issues. How do we cater for these people so that they can cater for their people? We need to put in all of this framework to be able to. It will just be another waste of money by just giving them another thing that prompted some governors to start using interim chairman is because of the mismanagement of funds or the lack of understanding of the workings of the local government system by many chairmen. So some governors said, well, I don't give you money anymore. I want to use the money myself, and I'm going to do what needs to be done, because even if I give you the money, you don't know what you are supposed to do, and this money ends up that status as implementers of this program also figure put into consideration
I think the network is not so friendly this morning. Mr. Wilson, in case you can hear us, there is a break in transmission from your end. That's why we're coming in. I think he's trying to make a whole lot of clarification.
Yes, he is. I wanted to ask, I hope he comes back, because I really need to ask, of course, economic development at the grassroots level and the contribution that this whole policy will make when it comes to this CBN policy. But you know what, let's quickly go on a very quick break, and the program continues shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. You are welcome back from that very quick break, and we're looking at the local government autonomy and of course the CBN policy, which is ongoing at about this point. And of course Mr. Wilson Agaba, a financial expert, is here with us on the program via Zoom, and hopefully he's back on now. Mr. Wilson, are you here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank God you can. Now, before you, there was no network at this point. I wanted to ask something. I said, now, looking at the local government autonomy, now, how does it contribute to economic development in the grassroots level? And also, and what role does the CBN have in facilitating the process?
If you look at our constitution, there are a lot of responsibilities that are bequeathed to the local government. For instance, primary health care is the duty of the local government. So when they build small clinics in villages and all of that, it is the work of the local government. Our primary education system also is under the purview of the local government. The primary security layer of the society is also within the purview of the local government. So when you have vigilante, community policing system and all these are within the purview of the local government. And that government is closer to the people. Then you have issues of local markets where food products are being sold and all of that. It's also within the purview of the local government. Back then too, issues of agricultural extension and support is also within the purview of the local government. So any policy by the federal government is cascaded to the state and then to the local government, who are closer to communities. These people have councillors that are working with them, representing each ward. These councillors have their followers and all of that in different villages and communities. So a functional local government system will open up the country at various layers, and it will feed the center with a lot of economic information and data that can be used for policy making and implementation. So it's going to, if handled well, it is going to boost the economic activities in the country. Because, of course, the total economic activity, or what you want to call the GDP of the country, is a sum total of the activities that happen in all of its components, including villages and local government, as the case may be. So if you have a functional local government that is carrying on its duty, the economic value that it will bring into the system is huge. Talk of issue of security, which is preventing farmers from going to farm today now, which is preventing the safe move of goods and properties from one part of the country to the other today. A lot of these things can be handled by the local people, because security information is all about people who are familiar with their system. If you live in a community now and somebody is new in that community, you will know. Whereas the police may not know, the community, those living in the community are aware. And providing that information so that it will not continue to expand. So if we fix the local government system and the local government system uses its mechanism optimally, not only will it curb the issue of unemployment and the rest that we are talking about, security will be also ensured. And the security system, I mean, a combination of the agencies and the framework of law that makes them work, function well, can use this to gather relevant information. Because the best way to fight crime, the best way to ensure safety is that you prevent the criminal act from happening even before it happens. And the only way you do that is by proper information. A functional local government system will be of immense benefit to the country.
All right, you spoke about the local government chairman not being well educated, but do you think, aside all of that, not being well educated, do you think they have what it takes? I have been to a local government function before, and I saw how it was. It wasn't really organized. They do not understand the nitty-gritty when it comes to organization and all of that. Do you think they have all it takes to follow through with this demand, this 2-year audited accounts of the CBN, what they're asking of? Do you think they have all it takes? Because like you mentioned, most are not educated, but the deed has already been done. Some of them are already local government chairman. But at this point, looking at it critically, or do you think it's a way of the same going back and forth with this local government autonomy that we're into at this point?
No, I don't think it's difficult for them to produce audited statements. By the way, when you say audited statement, it mustn't be an internal auditor that does it. In fact, for businesses, even though you have your internal auditor, you go and get a consultant to do your audited statement. So it's only going to cost them money. They can hire any of the big companies to come and do the audited statement for them. So the chairman doesn't have to do that. Even the auditor general of the local government does not have to do it. They just need to get a reputable consultant to come up with and stamp it. Then they can go and submit to the CBN. And I think that the CBN can even nominate criteria, can even provide a criteria for the kind of companies that can do their audited statement. You know, but you don't have to make it in a way that it will be too costly, cost them money to produce. So I think they can do it. It's not difficult. And it's not going to be too costly. However, like I said, we need to begin to overhaul the entire political system, beginning with political parties. It is the duty of the political parties, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, to create this orientation and education of their party members, and to also ensure that each party member that is nominated to contest for a particular position is capable of handling the position. It is the duty of the, because the political party is our first line of defense. If the political party fails, then the people will be put in the position where they may sometimes have to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. Because you cannot vote for somebody who is not on the ballot. You must vote for somebody who is on the ballot. And if the political party system have presented people who are all incapable, you must choose one from them. So there is a need to bring IPAC, which is the interparty organization, and to bring party system into all of this so that proper orientation, proper training, proper onboarding will be done. What can we do so that the best of each political party is representing them for a particular position at any level? So these are issues that we need to look at very well. It is not as simple as people look at it. Oh, the court has said give local government autonomy. Oh yeah, wire money to them this month. No. The reason we went to court is not for a legal exercise. It is directly relevant to improving the well-being and the lot of the Nigerian citizens. I mean, look at what is happening in the US today. A lot of Nigerians, because of the hardship here, lack of job, lack of opportunity, and all of that, have left here and gone to other countries illegally. And now they are being deported. A lot of them can't go to work. They are hiding. And I wonder how long they can hide because they'll need to eat. And it is always not easy. So if we need to create a Nigeria that works for everybody, so people will not be running out of here desperate.
Thank you very much, Agaba Wilson. Agaba, let me ask, we'll soon be rounding up, but then let me ask, as it is right now, what's the possibility that some local governments, councils may not be able to present a comprehensive or 2-year audited account, and what's the implication?
What I think is,
hello, can you hear me?
The CBN, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think it's a little better now. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay,
I can. Go ahead.
All right. What I think is that the CBN should enlist the support of agencies like the EFCC, the ICT combating institutions. then the CBN should also have a benchmark. If you are able to provide the audited statement, we proceed from step A to step B. If you are unable to provide it, then we proceed in this other dimension. It shouldn't be a one formula fits everyone. And then for those who provide audited statements and corruption and who responsible should be handed over to this agency for prosecution or investigation while the CBN continues with the new administration on a clean slate. So I think there's a way we should freeze it as it is and then create a new level for the new administration where they can be held responsible for whatever it is that happens going forward.
The reasons why a lot of people were excited about this local government autonomy is because of the interference of state governors. With this and with all of these things going on, this is Nigeria, of course, you know, Mr. Wilson. Do you think these people are going to completely hands off the local government at this point in time, talking about the governors who have been the ones indirectly in charge of the local government for a very long time?
I want you to of a president.
Wow, the network is not making it right now. It's not joining. The network is so disturbing. Wilson, can you hear me? All right. Well, the network is so not connecting right now. But then the issue, one of the measures. But then I think with this, something can be done. But the question is, these people, all right, because there is this belief in Nigeria that if a party, a particular political party wins at the top, it has to flow down to the local government council. That's how they make it happen. Now, if you are under the same party, the influence of your superiors, okay, you can't take away the issue of godfatherism, even though some persons have actually said, well, godfatherism is one of the plagues of Nigerian politics. And some persons said you can't do without it. Don't you think these people will still be, in one way or the other, stretching their hands or prognosing into the affairs of the local government council? These are questions in the heart of Nigeria. Well, it's unfortunate that we couldn't continue with Wilson. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if it's better now.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's a little better. All right. You can just...
I can hear you louder.
All right, go ahead. Just let's see how we can round up.
All right. So what I was saying is that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be automatic that once you put the law there and you say we are implementing this, the governors will just hands up. No. They will do a lot of, they will go round, try to see how they can tackle back into putting their hands in the pie. But what needs to be done is for the system to put frameworks in place to ensure that that is not possible, or that it is reduced, that practice is reduced to the barest minimum. And over time, they'll just get used to it and then leave it alone. But if you think that they are just going to hands off, it's not going to happen. And you also mentioned the issue of godfatherism in politics and all of that. It does exist everywhere. But again, if you implement a proper framework for the party system, it will reduce. If we have political parties that are funded by the members, then no particular person can hijack the mechanism of the political system. So the political party is something we need to really look at. A lot of things about this new structure that we want to run at the moment. We need to get the political party involved. They need to create party systems that have structures that ensure internal democracy and the rest of that for us. But in the meantime, I think the CBN and whatever ministries and agencies are responsible for ensuring the local government autonomy should also put framework in place to prevent these governors from going back to their hands. And then there should be severe punishment for any governors that dare to do that. That way, over the time, we can have a system that is fully autonomous. And then we must also prevent a system that will prevent the local government chairman to do what the governors have been doing. Taking the money for personal use, you wasting it anyhow, traveling to places that add no value to the service they are supposed to provide to the people. Spending it anyhow they want to work should be put in place. So if we do this, you evaluate it, you see what is working, you see what is not working, you discard the one that is not working, and you build on the one that is working. You know, innovation and re-innovation is what keeps the system working. So I think we can start somewhere, but we must keep our mind on frequently improving whatever it is we start.
Thank you very much, Wilson, for being part of the program today. It's so good to have you on the program. This is the most time will allow us to take. Thank you very much for being part of the program, Wilson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson Agaba.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to the studio. Next time I will be there in person.
That's fine. Thanks for the effort so far. You know, it's easier said than done.
Yes, it is.
This local government autonomy started. Some persons wanted truncating it. You know, they never wanted it to happen.
Yes.
Until the federal government, in fact, people gave federal government the kudos for taking the case to court.
The initiative,
and
yes.
they won the case.
Autonomy issue, we're going back and forth to be